In my last video, I talked about external judgment and we talked about how there are some positives and negatives to external judgment, but the same goes for internal judgment, right? There are a small amount of positives that come from internally judging ourselves. We do need to look constructively at ourselves and realistically at ourselves in order to see what we need to improve on or how we can be more empathetic or caring in a situation. But the majority of the judgments that we have for ourselves are not helpful. We've all been there. I've been there where you kind of mull through and cycle through a negative thought, a negative judgment about ourselves. And it can be really harmful when we start to truly believe these negative judgments we have about ourselves. I think the most helpful way to approach internal judgment is first by thinking, is this something I can change? Right? Because a lot of the negative judgment we have about ourselves is something that we can't change. So if it's something that we can change, and then also on top of that, if you changed it, would it make your life better, right? Because there's certain situations where you might start to feel like, oh, like I'm always canceling on people and now nobody wants to hang out with me. Can I change that? Can I be more reliable? And would that help my relationship with other people and ultimately make me more happier, help my relationships and everything? If you can change it, then change it. That's great. If it's something you can't change, because the majority of the judgments that we have about ourselves are these sort of like innate things that we can't change about our lives, how can I turn this into a positive statement? How can I change this judgment into something that is productive and still true about ourselves? So something that I often judge myself about is that I have a hard time focusing on just one thing. Throughout my whole life, I've had like a lot of different interests all at once. 3 weeks ago, I was making bagels every single day and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna start a bagel business and I'm gonna sell bagels and make my own cream cheese. And then a week ago I was thinking, no, I'm gonna get a job as a nurse practitioner and I'm gonna help people improve their health in that way, or I'm gonna teach yoga and I'm gonna help people improve their health that way. Like I have all these different things and I've had a really hard time focusing, and I always am looking externally at the people around me thinking like the people who I just feel like do the best are the people who are able to focus on one thing, and I have not been able to do that. So when I start getting into this negative judgment about myself, I tell myself, oh my gosh, like I can't focus, I can't do it. When I turn that into a positive statement, I think, how has this helped me in my life? Like the fact that I've had interest and passions of so many different things, I feel like I've been able to like truly connect and get along with a lot of different types of people and be open-minded to different ways of life and feel like I can approach almost any situation with a person with a mentality like, what can I learn from this person? Which has really, I feel like, been one of the most positive traits in my life. When I cycle through the negative parts of myself, I can get really down on myself. But when I change that to being like, okay, wait, actually, this is one of my greatest strengths in life, it totally changes the energy that I have about myself. It totally changes my confidence. It totally changes the way that I interact with other people. Being able to do that and changing the narrative that you're creating for yourself is so important when we get stuck in that negative judgment cycle.